Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and today is Wednesday, March the 3rd. That meaning that the Stage 1 Major begins in just a few hours time here. Going to be a very exciting weekend indeed, but many interesting topics to run through today, chief among which being the fact that the European amateur community has gentleman's agreemented the XM4 out of the game at last. They've been talking about it for a long time, and let's not forget, the last time the European amateurs GA'd a weapon, it was the AK-47, and that followed in the pro play just a few weeks after that. Is it going to happen this time around? Who really knows? But some of the pros are definitely in favour of that being the case. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, just wanted to mention this and clear up exactly what's going on with the major format, because I've had a few comments exactly how this works. I think people are thinking maybe the major, conflating that with the World Championship, and thinking that after this weekend, it's all over for the rest of the season. We are currently right here at the Stage 1 Major. We've had 3 weeks of group play to seed the major. Of course, this was condensed into just 2 weeks because we had the first week, then the power outages in Texas meant that we had to take a week off, and then combined all the games into a super week. But after this weekend finishes, the top 2 teams that finish, I believe number 1, number 2, the 2 teams that make the grand finals, will then start the seeding process for the groups next time around. We'll get a different set of groups for Stage 2, then we'll do the same thing again, then we'll have another major, repeat that, well, 4 more times from Stage 1, then we have the World Championship right at the end. So based on the points you get from the matches you win and your placings at the majors, you then get well, of course, a number of CDL points. That seeds you in the entire league standings, and that's how the formatting is going to work for the World Championship, where only 8 teams attend. Of course, all of these majors, every single team is there. Going to be talking about today's matches right at the end of the video. This I thought was pretty entertaining as well, given we're talking about the whole snaking thing the last couple of days. There are some different rewards for the major tournament, watching it on YouTube here. You get some salty emblem. This one as well, the snaked calling card, so pretty incredible COD timing on this one as well. A couple of other cool things as well if you guys would like to watch and earn all that good stuff that you could do on the CDL broadcast right now. Bit of drama as well. So these last couple of days, the Wester team, one of the best North American Challengers teams, if not the best, dominated the first 4 cups of the season. They decided to split up, and Zaptius got dropped for Phantoms coming over from UT Crew. And this was honestly really spicy, because as you can see, the Wester account right here, surely those guys didn't think they could drop the founder of Wester, that I suppose being Zaptius, in their mind, or whoever wrote this tweet, and keep the team name as well. New Wester roster coming soon with Zaptius, they say at the time. So they decided to drop him, but supposedly the new Wester is going to be Zaptius, Cells, Rex, and Gintroids. However, that didn't exactly go to plan, as Paul X says right here, he changed the password to the Twitter and locked everyone out of it. Get an absolute grip. So Paul and the rest of the guys very much not happy with this, and then they somehow managed to get it back again, and Paul X, Gravity, and Venom are indeed keeping the Wester brand, bringing Phantoms onto the team, and Zaptius is still set as team with that squad. So craziness over there. Definitely some drama to keep your eyes on the challenger scene going forwards. When these teams match up, it's going to be a spicy one, there's no doubt about that. And Method is kind of making fun of this new teamwork, the fact that Zap is gone and Phantoms is in. You know, typically Gravity and Phantoms, 2 relatively slow assault rifles, as Method says right here, all up to a 2 versus 4 for Gravity and Phantoms on this new Wester team. Let's see what they can pull off. Probably not too much in that situation. Wanted to mention this from Scump as well, because I thought this was really cool. A few days ago, he was mentioning that he had an announcement lined up. Super excited to confirm that I'm the first ever professional gamer to be sponsored by Oakley. Definitely follows a number of top tier athletes that have been in a similar boat. Unfortunately, these glasses I've got on right now aren't Oakley. These are pretty sick. So this is really cool to see from Scump, another member of the gaming community so far this year, signing a pretty high-end contract with one of the leading sports providers from, well, endemic sports, not necessarily just esports. So yeah, I thought that was really cool to see. Let's talk about this whole XM4 situation then. So a few days ago, when I suppose the Super Week was concluding, Attach says the XM4 really is the best gun in the game by far. And we've seen a lot of times on certain maps, like 3, even 4 XM4s per team at times. That hasn't always been the case necessarily, though. Like London, of course, London are 0-5, so maybe they're not necessarily doing the best thing, but they had some success using 374Us on, I think they were using it on Checkmate Controller, maybe even Checkmate Hardpoint as well at times. But a lot of the time we see that on the majority of, especially these respawn maps, it's the XM4 which is dominating. Now, to say that though, you then look at guys like Huke, you look at guys like Simp. These are 2 of the players with the highest KD in the game. They're actually the players using the 74 Euro. So of course they're very talented, and occasionally they'll pull out an XM4, but the majority of the time they're putting up these massive numbers with the AK-74U in hand. So it's not necessarily the fact that the XM4 completely dominates and no one else can even have a chance using any other weapon. But clearly the XM4 is very strong. It's probably slightly too prevalent, you could argue, in the current meta. The fact that occasionally you see 3 of them on a map is probably not great. You really want it to be limited to 2 assault rifles on the map. And we were hoping that at some point it would be like 1 Krig, 1 XM4, 2 74Us would be quite a nice meta, right? Or even 174U and one like MP5 or something like that, or some new SMG that potentially comes into the game. So right now it's pretty much a 2-gun meta. However, on some maps the Krig is still viable. On Miami Search and Destroy especially, Checkmate Search and Destroy as well, the Krig does come into play. So it's kind of nice to see that on occasion, especially those Search and Destroy maps, it doesn't happen too often that you actually get some weapon variety, but sometimes on Miami Search and Checkmate Search, you will see that some Krigs come out, some XM4s come out, and there is a little bit of a conflict, right? So the Krig's definitely better at long range, given it has like no recoil at all, but the XM4 is going to be better in kind of medium ranges, so there's definitely a trade-off between what players are using in certain lines of sight and certain engagements that they're trying to get in on the map at the particular time. So the XM4, definitely a very strong weapon. Is it too strong? You could certainly argue not, but you could also certainly argue that it is. As aBeZy says right here, we're not going to talk about the XM4. Gun literally implodes at every range. Both guns implode at every range. There's Clay is saying like they're both too good, and well, Slasher is echoing a similar opinion we are going to look at here in just a second. So this is what happened yesterday. Afro, of course, a substitute on the London Royal Ravens, playing in the European amateur scene for now, tweets this screenshot of a group chat, I suppose, with the European amateur community of Looty saying all in favour of the XM4 staying, do this, all in favour of it going, do that, and when it had 7 thumbs down to 1 thumbs up. So Looty says the following, feel free to drop him a follow for more Gentlemen's Agreements updates in the future. European GA update, as of Monday 8th of March 2021, in a few days time, we will be adding the XM4 to the European GA list. He's not saying this to benefit his own team, but the decision was voted on by 11 top-seeded teams in Europe. There was a clear majority, so the XM4 is out the door. Now, Zero right now is playing for Singularity over in the European amateur community, and he says the following, I understand the XM4 is super OP, but getting rid of it without even touching the 74U isn't the play in his opinion, right? So the 74U clearly still very strong. Getting rid of the XM4, what does that mean, right? Okay, so what other weapons are going to come into the game? The AK-47 is gone. Pretty funny how this worked, right? The 47 is gone, and I think Octane and some other pros at the time didn't really want that to be gone. Now the XM4 comes into the meta, that's now overpowered. So okay, what's going on here? Are both of them OP? I mean, clearly I suppose both of them are. If you allowed the AK-47 back, that would probably come to dominate the meta once again as it was before it was actually GA'd, right? But they figured out the XM4 is also too strong, but the 74U in comparison, maybe that's too good as well, right? So that's the thing. You start GAing things, and all of a sudden the meta still isn't perfect, and now because you've GA'd one thing, you can now justify GAing in another thing, and then it all goes down the rabbit hole, and we're GAing absolutely everything in the game. And maybe the XM4 will follow in pro play, who really knows? Because Slasher and Co certainly would like to see it, right? So the XM4 is gone. The 74U, how many 74Us are we going to see now in the European Challenger scene? It's going to be interesting to look at, right, over the next couple of weeks. And as I say, maybe it'll follow in pro play as well. If the 74Us are all over the place with the occasional Krig and respawn, is that going to be better to watch than the XM4 meta? I don't really know. But as well, Center says right here, MP5 Krig meta, and as Slasher says, get them both out of here, right? So he wants both of these guns gone, the XM4 gone, the 74U gone, and then potentially run an MP5 Krig meta. The MP5 hasn't really been in the meta since right at the start of the game, but maybe this would make more sense in terms of the way the rolls of the guns work. Maybe that would mean that the Krig has more chance in certain engagements against the 74U, given the XM4 is probably the only weapon that can compete with it right now in certain situations. And well, as Trey says right here again, Krig MP5 would actually be the best meta, not even joking. Marky B, coach at Toronto Ultra, says let us get it going then, and let's get it going universally, right? Like, let's get this stuff all across the park. So seems to me that a lot of pros are thinking we should get the XM4 out of the game. How long will it be until this happens? If it does happen, there's certainly been a lot of discussion on it for quite a while now, and well, given they've already GA'd the AK-47, it makes it easier and easier to actually GA the next weapon and completely change up the meta. At the same time though, we now have the preset classes in the game, right? The preset classes are Krig, AK-74U, and XM4. Do we want to completely change the preset classes and eliminate all the XM4 ones? I mean, maybe you do. That's effectively, I suppose, what the European amateurs are doing. They're just gentlemen's agreementing some of those preset classes. As Mohawk says here, GAing the XM4 would ruin the game. The 74U will be way too OP. So we'll have to see from the 8th of March if it affects the European amateur region and whether the pros will decide to follow in their footsteps. Few interesting things to finish off the video. This I thought from Clayster yesterday was funny. We need a reality TV show, put every team into a huge compound. I swear to God, it will be the most popular thing on television. No doubt about that. Some of the comedy that would come out of a show like this in the COD community would be absolutely out of control. This happened yesterday as well, so Nameless says tonight at 8 PM Eastern. I haven't got the chance to watch this yet, of course, but the CODcast with Hastro, bring me in for another episode. I have a lot to say. So of course he has a lot to say. After all the drama these last couple of days, Hastro headed on the CODcast once again. I'll probably get some time to watch it over the coming days, but yeah, I'm sure there was some interesting stuff in this one, of course. What they should have done is brought in special guest JCap, bring in Thor in, bring in Courage, and just Nameless and Pac-Man could just mute their mics and let them absolutely go at it. That would have been pure entertainment as well. So these are the matches kicking off later today. The major begins in just a few hours' time. 2 2 games today, then Thursday, Friday, there's 4 games. Going to be a late night for me and the rest of the guys in Europe. But yeah, today should be not too bad. Every single day, I'm pretty sure there's 2 matches which are for elimination. So 2 teams get eliminated pretty much every day. The first day, which is today, is going to be Ultra versus London Royal Ravens, and then Seattle Surge versus the Florida Mutineers. So these are the 2 matchups today. Pretty interesting to see. I'm guessing that Ultra should be favourites here, and Mutineers should probably be favourites as well. But to be fair, Seattle Surge have actually looked relatively good so far in their most recent matches. So I think this could actually be a very interesting one. Probably the top one could be interesting as well, given that London have gone Game 5 with teams like the Dallas Empire, and Ultra really didn't look like the team we expected them to be last time round. So 2 very interesting matchups tonight. Then the next day we get 2 elimination games again. Then we get 2 elimination games again. And then everything wraps up to the major grand final on Sunday. I believe this is actually the major grand final is going to be a best of 9. I'm not sure if the team from winners gets any advantage or what's going on there. They haven't really talked about it as yet, but I'm pretty sure it says on the Pick'em site it's a best of 9. Maybe like it was at the World Championship last year where the team from winners gets like a 1 map advantage or something. I'm not really sure, but well, nothing confirmed as of yet. I'll keep you guys updated when we do know. Enjoy to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube because I know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
I'm playing this. I'm gonna put an effort with the team, and then the game comes out. First month goes by, and it's like, yeah, yo, this banging, and then Sal's like, hey guys, I found out a new way to snake. I cancel. And then everybody in the game's doing it, and I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, this game was like a pre-aim bunny hop game in the first month, and then these were like, yeah, break the game, and then Joe Seacot's like, yeah, yo, not gonna fix this. Hell yeah. And then it's like, bro, it was not fun. The game is mechanically broken.